Alright, what's good YouTube? We are back again once again for another video. In today's video, you guys, we got the BRZ in the background, and that is because we have to finish up tuning our E85, our FlexFuel tune. If you guys seen the last video, or a few videos ago, you know we already got the FlexFuel kit from GJP on our BRZ, and we're not done yet. We did a few data logs, we did a few pulls for our tuner Zach over at Counterspace Garage, but we're not done. We have some fine tuning, we have some final adjustments to make on our BRZ, and then we should be done. So I'm gonna give you guys the before and after, the kind of final adjustments to the BRZ, and then afterwards the car fully on E85, fully tuned. Is it that big of a difference, and is it worth it? We have a good bit of mods going on the BRZ coming up here, so I want to get this out of the way. I want to get it fully tuned. This way we could drive it normally. I don't have to be too careful when driving it because it's not fully tuned. But yeah, I want to get this done and over with. This way we can have a little fun with the BRZ. We have work to do. We got work to do. So just to go over the setup on the BRZ for some of you new guys here that have not seen it before, we got some 255s on here, and we got some rear load control arms in the back. We're running a full catless exhaust system, JDL unequal length headers in the front, 2.5 JDL overpipe front pipe, dual resonated front pipe to the Tomei single cat back. So we are gonna go ahead and hop in the BRZ and get our final tune sesh out of the way. Not too hot. Alright, we still do gotta warm up. Been kind of sitting here for a minute, so I'm trying on a new setup. I got my GoPro on my hat. I'm trying to get this setup to work so I give you guys like the best point of view, but not gonna lie, it's a little tough running this setup. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys have any recommendations for like the best point of view for you guys, if you know any like tips, tricks, then let your boy know. Comment section, have it up. Alright guys, we're in our private area, our private road here. We're gonna do a warm-up lap, see how she does, and then, whoa, what are you doing, dude? And then we will go do our pulls. Yeah, I wanna warm up the tires a little bit, get our temps flowing and whatnot. So we'll do that quickly. god. 337. Holy crap. Oh my god. Before the ethanol, before we were on E85, we were doing 350, and that was like clear road and pushing it a little bit harder. Like right now, you see I didn't hit red line at all. Whoa, that's a big pothole. I didn't hit red line because, like I said, we're not fully tuned, number one. Number two, our private area there is a little backed up, but I'm proud of that time. We beat our previous time by like a good, well, it was about 350 before, like 350 flat was our best time. So make sure we're recording this time, because I did it before and we were doing pretty well, but I forgot to hit record. But dude, that's freaking nice. I'm happy with that. So our temp's not looking too bad either. I definitely want to get an oil cooler on this thing though. Off rip, we got better time. We got better time running our little home course there, and I mean that's a plus in my eyes. I could easily tell running that uphill and just kind of hitting those corners, and hitting the gas and the straights and stuff. I mean, I could tell that it's, we're packing a little more power there. I'm a little spooked on if we go a little further on power. So one thing I noticed that I kind of want to point out, I know this is E85 video related, but one thing I noticed that we definitely need to tune and dial in on this car is the suspension. I feel like if I took those corners a little harder, we would kind of, I don't want to jinx it, but we need to stiffen up the chassis here. I was gonna go in there, but we're not gonna do that. That's one thing I want to focus on next, is stiffening up the chassis, because I don't like how we're a little loose. We're a little loose in here, and I'm not really too crazy about it. And adding more power is going to be a problem if we're this loose when driving. All right, so at this point we're gonna make a little pit stop, and then we are gonna do our data logs for Zach, our tuner. Yeah, she definitely pulls a good bit more. But Dyno says a good bit more. Yeah, dude. That should conclude our final set of data logs for E85, and then we'll be fully tuned. Alright guys, I think that about wraps it up for today's video. So bringing it back to the question asked earlier in today's video, is FlexFuel worth it for you? Is it worth it in general? Well, I'd say if you plan on sticking to NA on your BRZ86, then it's a toss-up, because you have a few factors to consider. Number one, how readily available is FlexFuel to you? How far do you have to travel for it? Because it does burn a lot quicker. It does burn more efficiently and is better for your motor and you get a little more horsepower, but is that worth it for you? Running ethanol in your NA car is going to net you the most power you could get out of being NA besides forged internals. You run ethanol and you run some headers, and that's about as far as you could go. Then you could also mess with suspension, grip, handling, all that cool stuff to also go a good bit faster and, you know, weight reduction and stuff. But that's not what we're talking about in today's video. If you do have plans for boost, then I'd say ethanol is 100% worth it. And if you're not running ethanol already and you have a turbo or if you have a supercharger on your car, what are you doing? Running ethanol when you're boosted is damn near necessary because, like I said, it burns more efficient, it nets you a good substantial bit more power when you're boosted, and it helps your motor survive longer. There's not much to it besides the fact of how available it is to you. That's probably the only thing to consider. Another thing too that I kind of want to throw in there, and shout out to Moto IQ for kind of educating me on this, is if you're running ethanol on your car and it is a daily driver, you want to make sure you're not starting up the car and going like 5 miles, turning off the car, starting up the car, another 5 miles. That kind of stuff builds up a lot of carbon in the motor, and that's not going to be good for your motor. So if you do plan on going like short distances a lot, and it is your daily driver, something like that, then possibly reconsider, or you could alternate your driving habits. That's something that I do myself when I drive the BRZ. I'm more planning of how I'm driving. But on the flip side, it is nice because if you're running a FlexFuel kit, you can run 93 pump when you need to. So to wrap that up, if you have plans for boost, then 100% running a FlexFuel kit is worth it. If you are staying NA, then you have a few factors to consider. However, if you do want to net the most power out of your NA car without obviously going forged internals, then yes, you're going to want to run ethanol. But I do think it's enough spot as any to wrap up today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to give me a like down below. It really does go a long way, and while you're down there, you could consider subscribing. That shows me you guys like what I'm doing here, and I could do more. But as per usual, I do want to give a shout out to Hot Electronics, Supreme BRZ Man, 86 Master of Electronics. Go check them out. Jules 10 for that 10% off. And while you're down there, you can check me out, Jules, description down below. Instagram, TikTok, all that cool stuff. I like posting behind the scenes, cool shorts, cool reels, all that cool stuff. So check me out, description down below. Other than that, though, I think that's enough said for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ooh, peace. There's something on the ground. How do I just look over and spot this? Come on, dude. What? Oh my god. Right next to the BRZ. Have some decency.